Here we go!
Can I persuade you to join us for a drink? It's a tradition. Here.
Jar Jar, homie, my main man, quickly. Before the Separatists attack, get into the escape pod.
Hey! This is escape, then we're the pod.
Welcome back to Star Wars Escape Pod and another episode of Rebels Talk, Part 7. We are getting into Season 2, Episode 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm your host, Josh. We have your other host, Blake, in the podcast as well, in the Escape Pod. And we're going to be breaking down these next following episodes of Star Wars Rebels. And part of Rebels Talk is our sub-series on the podcast. We go way back to the beginning of Star Wars Rebels and talk and watch Star Wars Rebels leading up to Ahsoka, which will, as the way it looks, continue the story, as Dave Filoni has admitted himself. So if you're sticking with us, we're glad to have you along for the ride, for the journey. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Another happy landing.
All right, welcome back, sir.
Hello there.
Hello there. And another episode of Rebels Talk. We are diving headfirst into Season 2. And this is the second episode of the podcast that we're getting into Season 2. So anyone jumping aboard, welcome. Welcome to Star Wars Escape Pod. Welcome to our journey diving
Ahoy.
into Rebels. Ahoy. So also check the description of every Rebels Talk podcast episode for the links, for the relevant links and the list of episodes that we're talking about in the podcast episode that you know what to watch before you listen. And for those of you who are staying a couple weeks ahead of us, a couple episodes ahead, that's a wise decision. That way when the podcast drops, you're ready to go, right?
You'll have context.
Yeah, you'll have some content to digest, as you're going about your daily business.
And not be probably where we would be if we were listeners. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I haven't watched that show since it came out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When did this come out again? Oh man, it was like 8 years ago.
It's fun, and like I enjoy rewatch podcasts a lot, and so I hope that our audience, I hope if you're listening, I hope you enjoy what we do, because
why are you here?
Yeah, also I guess you would not be here if you did not enjoy it. But so a big thank you to all of you, those who have been inviting your friends and sending them links to Star Wars Escape Pod, or those of you who follow stuff on the socials, using the handle at SW Escape Podcast in the description below, and leaving those 5 stars, right? Because that always helps us out. And I believe we have a special message from a good friend of ours in a galaxy far, far away.
Jabberwood with fear. You also did not listen to Star Wars Escape Pod. If you know what's good for you, tune in, subscribe, share this show with a partner in crime, and leave a good review.
That's right, leave a good review.
What is a popcorn crime?
A partner in crime.
He eats criminal popcorn.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Anyway, leave a great review. That always helps out. And, if you can't, then let us know. And we might just crawl into a closet and stop doing the podcast. No, I'm kidding. We only do it because we like doing it. We like you guys, and we don't get paid for any of this. So we do love those reviews. We do love the nice reviews.
Speaking of random swag.
Yeah, speaking of random swag, throw your name in the giveaway. I won't talk about it extensively for those of you who have been following the podcast for a while now, but there's a link in the description below. Please, it's up to you. Just throw your name in the hat. There's multiple ways to enter. You got 8 full ways to throw your name. So that's 8 chances of winning a free Retro Series Star Wars Orbit key organizer. And they're fantastic.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, it's one of those things. you do what you do, but if you want some free stuff, you got a chance at winning it, and it's all legit and everything. You're hearing me talk about it. It gets shipped straight from Australia to your door if you win. I believe there is a complication with shipping to the UK, and for unfortunate reasons, anyone who may get picked over there, I don't believe they're able to ship for some reason due to region restricted shipping expenses on behalf of the company or whatever, but hey, that's not really my fault. So
I think last time this came up, we were able to.
We were going to
just boost it, right?
Basically forward it. We were going to forward it to,
Not
so
doing that this time.
I mean, I guess we could. I guess if that lucky winner really wants to toss in, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see who's the lucky name.
If you live in the UK, you have to win the lottery to get the key organizer, and then also win how Josh is feeling that day to see if he'll actually bother to mail it to you.
True enough. All right, well,
a little harder if you live in the UK, but there's still a shot.
Hey, we'll do it. All right, you got to let us know though. So don't get rid of your email because we do reach out. We give like a 48-hour kind of window to reply. Otherwise, I have to draw another name. So please, if you sign up for the giveaway, don't use. Or if you use a burner email, get rid of it after the giveaway is over. Make sure you can always click that link again, go back to the page and see how many days are left. I believe there's like 20 days left on the giveaway timer. So, we got a ways to go, but it'll drop right before Ahsoka comes out. And, it's in celebration of the retro series launching. So, who wouldn't want that? So anyway, toss your name in, the rest. And once again, check the description for all those relevant links. So, without further ado, let's get into Season 2, Episode 5, Always Two There Are. Written by Kevin Hops and directed by Brad Rao, premiered on October 28th, 2015 on Disney XD. Zeb, Sabine, and Chopper, with Ezra volunteering himself to avoid Kanan and Rex, head to an old outpost that was once owned by the Republic in search of a vital medical supplies, only to be encountered by the seventh sister and the fifth brother. The seventh sister captures Ezra and interrogates him about the whereabouts of Ahsoka Tano, while Sabine is captured by the fifth brother. Zeb and Chopper eventually rescue them, and they all barely escape the Inquisitors and head back to the Rebel fleet, where Ezra pointedly questions Kanan about the extra Inquisitors. So, what did we think about this episode? Just as I'm saying this, I totally forgot we did not do Pablo's and Pudu points in the last episode. We'll do that, and I'll slot it in. But this episode, I gotta remember to bring it up.
Let's do it episode to episode. It's just easier.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, okay. So, what did you think of this one? Perhaps, I mean, just off the top of your head. Do you want to do Pablo points and Pudu's like after we do the bullet points, or like
after the bullet points?
Okay, all right. Okay, yeah. Okay. So we've seen these medical stations before. They popped up in the Clone Wars. They're reused designs. Did that bring back any memories for you, or
And just mean referring to like Clone Wars
stuff?
stuff?
Just Clone Wars stuff. Yeah, you see the medical station, you're like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like. I didn't really think too much about it because I feel like right now, in current time, like rewatching this, we're kind of already getting a lot of Clone Wars stuff, so I wasn't really too surprised by that, especially considering the era we're in.
Yeah.
And at the time when it came out, it was right after Clone Wars was canceled, so it also was fresh in my mind.
Right.
So, if we were doing this podcast maybe a year and a half ago or 2 years. Yes, I would have noticed all this stuff. I'm like, oh man, remember that?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But we just had like Kenobi.
It's a lot of Star Wars.
There's a lot. A lot of it has been slotted into the between episode 3 and 4 area.
Yeah.
So, long story short, no.
All right. Long-winded answer for that. I recognized it right away. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this before. And, sure enough, I think they were in the Clone Wars. So that was cool to see. Fifth brother is like, I sense they're here at the station. And then, it's like, dude, like the seventh sister's already there. Like, it just made no sense. You know, it's like he had this whole mystic moment where, like, you know, he's on the ship. He's like, yo, the fifth brother wants to see you. And so, like, they go over and talk to him. And he's like, you know, he's like, they're like, oh, yeah, medical station, like, just had, like, a power pulse. And, like, you know, that maybe the rebels could be there. And he's like, it is them. I sense it. You know, like, he's like,
slow.
yeah, he's like kind of insinuating that, like, he senses that there is, like, it's got to be it. Meanwhile, the seventh sister is already aboard the space station.
I don't think they work together, though. That's the thing. I think all the Inquisitors work under their own regard. They don't really share information.
I just thought it was kind of strange, you know, because the next thing you know is, like, he's there, they're working together. It's like, what? What's going on here? You know, it's like, how did you not know? But in the Kenobi series, they have like a room where they all sit and have like their own little Inquisitor council going on. So like, to me, I was just like, there is something fishy going on here, especially seeing as like fifth brother in Kenobi, which takes place before the events of this show, right? Okay. Fifth brother is in the position of being kind of the Grand Inquisitor level status because that's why he doesn't want Reva to have it, right?
Because he thinks he's going to be promoted.
Yeah, he's kind of in line for the promotion, right? So, like, if the Grand Inquisitor,
right,
like, kind of
the Grand Inquisitor in Kenobi, fake died.
Yeah, exactly. He like fake died, which I still think was kind of stupid. But he's got like two stomachs, I guess. It's like his species has got two guts. I get it. It's whatever. But like at the same time, it was just kind of strange, and I think they only did it because they knew that fans knew he pops up later in Rebels.
Yeah.
So that I was a bit annoyed by it, but
we could have made another Grand Inquisitor, and then the current Grand Inquisitor was the one who became the new Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah. Well, they I don't know. It felt like it was like this whole like mole operation just to try and like get Reva out of her.
Sure.
You know. Anyways, I don't want to get into Kenobi, but yeah, I enjoyed the show. I have my gripes about it, but at the same time, fifth brother, big element in that show. Same character in this show, even though he looks different. And
live action will do that to you.
Yeah, they totally changed him. Like it's like he went from like.
Don't even get me started about Cad Bane.
So oh yeah, geez, don't even get me started about Cad Bane. But like this one, they went even further. Because in Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's just a dude. Like he's like a guy, right? Like face paint and stuff. And in this episode, like in Rebels, like when he pops up, he's like he's got like sharp teeth. He's got like the whole like alligator looking face. Mm-hmm. It's like, what?
Did they ever say what race?
No, I don't believe they did. But it was just one of those things. I just have a problem with it. You know, it's just like,
yeah, no, I agree. If something is established, you should keep to it as close as possible.
Or just don't reuse them again. You know, it's like I'm fine. Not like we went the whole Kenobi show without seeing every other Inquisitor. That's okay. You know, like I'm fine. They're off doing stuff, right? Hunting Jedi Inquisitor things, right? I don't need to see every Inquisitor in the book, but
I need to see the whole Inquisition.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring back a character, do it right. Make him look, make him look like he does.
I'm not sure who makes the calls on this. If it's ends up being a budget thing or a time thing, or if it's an artistic decision by the creative people.
I honestly think it's laziness. Because like when you look at Revenge of the Sith in that movie, the makeup that they applied to that one guy's face, I forget the actor's name now. He plays the
Utapauan.
The Pawn. Is that the species name? The Pawn?
Powin?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Powin. And he plays the guy that like kind of sneers at Kenobi with his teeth, and he's like, they are here. They are watching us as we speak.
That's right.
Tell your people to take shelter. That was the species there. That's what the Grand Inquisitor should have looked like.
Agreed. I don't know why they didn't do that, because that was a live action
and
thing.
Again,
and they didn't get it right.
They just put a bald cap on a regular human guy and put his face in a tank of makeup, and that was it.
It's because it's TV?
Like, I don't know. I think it's just a laziness thing. Like, it's just like, it may be TV, maybe because of like filming schedule or what, but like, it just kind of annoyed me, right? And like, I don't want to get into it all over again, but this was the biggest change I think that they've kind of botched between going from animated to live action, because he was straight up an alien in Rebels, and in live action, he just looks like a humanoid alien.
Yeah.
Right. So they changed like everything about his face. So I don't know. The costume was sort of similar.
Is it?
But that was it.
I'm trying to remember who the actor is.
Sun Kang in the live action. He plays Han in Fast and Furious.
Right. Do you think he might have had a contract-based thing where you have to be able to see his face properly?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Like I don't.
Sometimes that happens too.
Yeah, but then it's like, why you like why would they be so?
I'll be a stormtrooper, but you got to see my face.
It's like, do you really? If that's in the contract, like, are you so hung up on hiring this one actor? You know,
happens, man.
Just for for them to like break things. Like I know like it happens, like because like Henry Cavill, leaves The Witcher because like like that whole business over there. It's
so
like
I'm thinking of Superman when he grew a mustache and refused to shave it.
Oh, that was a whole different, like that was a contractual obligation. Yeah, because he was Henry Cavill. He was in Mission Impossible and he couldn't shave his mustache because like he was doing reshoots. And so when they called him back for Superman or whatever, it's just like, oh yeah, I got this mustache, can't shave it.
And I'm not shaving it.
Yeah, like I think the two companies like they talked and it's like, no, we need Henry to keep his mustache. But it was
and now you get this really awkward reshoot shots where there's a big blurry lip.
But it's one of those things. It's like, okay, prosthetics, nothing new to movies, right? It's like, how could you not like kind of make him look more like the character? It annoyed me. But anyways. So I just thought the whole, like, I sensed them from afar and, like, I don't know. Okay, I'm just repeating myself here. But, yeah, anyways, small gripes, everybody.
Since we're already complaining about the Inquisitors, might as well make it a little longer.
Yeah, okay, well, okay. Okay, I got one more thing about them.
Okay.
And I'll bring it up. But, okay, in what world is crawling through air ducts faster than running down hallways? So, like, Ezra and,
multiple floors.
Oh, that must be it. Okay.
Boom.
Okay. Boom, fixed. Here we are doing Pablo's work. Second sister and fifth brother really take the Inquisitor thing to a whole nother level. They have a certain level of cheese that the Grand Inquisitor just doesn't have. And I really love Jason Isaacs as the Grand Inquisitor. He is a overall fantastic actor to play a villain.
Oh, he did a very good job.
He did a really great job. Really great job. He did a fantastic job at playing Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter series, That scene when he kicks Dobby down the stairs in Dumbledore's office, that was totally improvised.
That's crazy.
They asked him after, like, why'd you just, what did you just do there with your leg? Why'd you do that? He's like, oh, because I was kicking him down the stairs. And they were like, that's freaking brilliant. Like, it's just like, that wasn't in the script, but like, yeah, like that, we're going to use that. So like,
so there wasn't like a stand-in who just kicked down the stairs.
No, there was no, I guess, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Maybe they just didn't use it.
Like a puppet on a string. And he just gives it a boot.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that as
back in the day when they couldn't like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think filmmaking has become so lazy nowadays, but like back then, I don't think they wanted to like have to paint out just people standing around, people in the crew with like the pop. I think like they must have had one there for scale and then like removed it or whatever, like kind of like how they hold up those like color balls or those color sheets before. And then it's not in the movie. It's just like, it's cut.
Reference.
It's in the handles. Right? Yeah, just reference. So I think they must have done something like that, but it's like, what are you kicking there? Oh, I was kicking him down the stairs. Oh, yeah. So he's a great actor. And, I just thought like these Inquisitors. So I don't know how you felt about Fifth Brother in Kenobi, but I don't know. It was just a bit cheesy. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And I think this plays into the gripe that we talked about in season 1. And that's that we start off with a big, bad, worst Inquisitor. And as you're saying, he was the serious one. And now we're getting all these hooligans.
Yeah. Also, like, the voice modulator in the second sister voice was not working for me. Like, even looking back at this, I'm like, why? What's wrong? Like, it doesn't look like she's got a mask on. Like, why does she sound like that? It sounds like a reverb effect. And it was like, that is just not helping the believability of this character.
Do we have a clip we could play?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, let's play a clip.
Well, I've got some time if you wanted a lesson.
Okay, the mask opens.
You have great potential, but perhaps it is I that might teach you, as your master never achieved the rank of Jedi Knight. Did he?
Maybe not. But he took out the last Inquisitor.
Okay, so what do you think of that?
I think it's really meta. So I don't know if this is true. This is me just totally taking a total stab at it. So to me, this sounds like she's possessed, right? It's got that weird double voice thing going on,
right?
Like demon thing. She played Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's right. Yeah. Maybe it's a play up on that.
I'm wondering if that might be like a slight little thing, like a an Easter egg.
Maybe. I don't know. It was nothing to do with her acting. Like she's a great actor, but like or actress.
Sound thing. It's just like
it's just like why add that on top of like the bad script, you know? Like it's just like, dude. But okay, I mean, like I hate to like crap on the villains here, but like the Inquisitors are not meant to be anything great, you know, like they're meant to be the villains that get buffooned every single time that they run into them, right? So like I'm not completely out of my league here by saying all these things, but I just didn't think that the believability of these characters were that great, you know. It didn't help with
they just weren't serious enough.
No, they weren't serious enough. They weren't like menacing enough. I hate the fact that a guy who I only just talked about on the podcast not that long ago, Fifth Brother, he showed up in a book where we bridges the gaps between the two Jedi games, Fallen Order and Survivor. And he's actually kind of menacing in that book, and he cuts off Grease's arm. So the guy in the alien in the first game, that's like the pilot guy, innocent guy. Yeah,
he's got a few.
He's got a robotic arm. Yeah, he's kind of like a crazy guy, right? He's a nice guy though. He's like the one that always like makes them soup and everything like that. He's like the normal one aboard the ship because like that we're talking about two Jedi and a Night Sister, and then there's this dude, right? And he's the one that loses his arm. It's like what? But anyway, he has like a robotic arm in the second game, and this book explains what it is. But it's Fifth Brother that takes it on by his lightsaber, and I just thought, okay, why would a guy like that knock out Sabine and just fling her over his shoulder and like take her to where they're questioning Ezra? And then, I don't know, it just seemed like a little innocent. And I know it's Rebels. I know it's toned down from Clone Wars. But it's just, I think that's what maybe bothers me a little bit, is because it's so innocent, it's hard to believe in the seriousness of the villains, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's like a whole nother level of cheese.
Keep in mind, though, this is also the very first time we've seen this character in like when it was released.
Yeah.
So the character has developed since then. Unfortunately, that means stuff like this might no longer fit with who the character currently is, even if it takes place later in his timeline.
Right.
Sucks.
Who knows? Yeah.
But it could be that. It could be as simple as that. Because he does seem like a bit of a bumbling strong man.
Yeah, yeah. The idea of more Inquisitors troubles Kanan a lot. You know, they have no idea what they're up against. That was made very clear at the end of the episode. I think it's the first time he realizes, oh shoot, like there's more of them. Like crap.
Yeah.
But then it's like, dude, what did you think was gonna happen? Like you killed the Grand Inquisitor. What's he grand about? You know, like what's so grand? If he's the only one, why is he grand? Right? Like no, it's like he's one of many. One of many. So
one thing that I don't really get though was like the previous episode to this, Darth Vader finds out that Ahsoka's alive. Why does he send Inquisitors instead of looking into it himself?
I don't know.
You think that'd be pretty important? I feel like it's probably the most important thing he has to deal with right now.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, is this the last? One that you're? No more notes. You don't have anything you want to bring up?
Just a cool. A little mention here. I always thought it was kind of small world, kind of neat. You know, the seventh sister, voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar, is married to Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
Kanan.
Yeah, it's worth noting. Yeah. Okay, Pablo points and Poodoos, solid Poodoo. One Poodoo for this one.
Ooh, the Inquisitor's burning that bad, hey?
One Poodoo.
Wasn't great. I'll give it a Bendu.
Okay, cool.
I mean, yeah, I'm content with that.
All right, moving on. Season 2 episodes.
Explain what the heck we're talking about.
Pablo points and Poodoos is a scale of 7. We got 3 Poodoos being the absolute worst of the worst. Moving up from there, we got a 50%. That's a Bendu. And then going up from there, we got 1, 2, 3 Pablo points, 3 being the absolute best of the best of the best. So 1 Pablo Poodoo is like an incomplete.
Like 40%?
You know, it's like 40%. Yeah. It's like a Like, not great. Season 2, Season 2, episode 6, Brothers of the Broken Horn. Written by Bill Wolkoff and directed by Saul Ruiz. Premiered on November 4th, 2015 on Disney XD. Guest stars Jim Cummings, voice of Winnie the Pooh, and Hondo Ohnaka.
I didn't realize that was the same guy. Oh my god.
He's a very talented guy.
Winnie the Pooh,
James
Hondo,
Hong and Keith Zabaracha. However you pronounce that. Sorry, Keith. Jim Cummings, Hondo and Pooh. I wish I could do a Pooh accent.
Oh, man.
Oh, Christopher Robin. That's as best as I can do. Ezra received...
Father.
Piglet.
No, it's Eeyore.
I can do Eeyore better. Well, I'm lonely. Ezra receives a distress signal from Vizago's ship. Ezra and Chopper decide to see what has happened. When Ezra and Chopper arrive at the ship, they find out that the ship has been taken over by Hondo Ohnaka. They find out that Vizago is captured inside the ship, and Ezra helps him get it back. So that's this episode. It was interesting. I love how Hondo knows the infamous Lando Calrissian when Ezra introduces himself as Lando, playing up on the joke previously that he gave his name as Jabba the Hutt to Agent Kallus, who now refers to him as Jabba.
That's right.
I just thought like the stupidity of this joke has gotten to a whole new level at this point in season 2 that I actually like. I like it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of I don't know. It's like this kid that just he's got these names in his head because like maybe he's heard of them or come across them before, not realizing to us viewers just how important these people are.
Right.
So to us it's funny, right? But like to the people in that galaxy, it's like, oh, like, but what are the chances that they know that name, right?
Right.
And
they probably know the name, but they probably never met them.
Yeah, and like that's the thing, right? Like, does Agent Kallus know about Jabba? Like, probably. I think that was a sarcastic thing, that exchange that he had. But this time, you know, like it's like, oh, I've the famous Lando Calrissian. He's like, you know, kid. Yeah, and he's like, you're a bit younger than I expected. Like, okay, that's just great. Strange. The Empire is like, checkpoint, you know, please pull over and all that stuff. And then they just start firing their turrets. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
just immediately start shooting them.
Yeah. You know, like, I'm going to be freaking out next time I go to the border. It's like, hey, can we see your passport? Get them, boys! Yeah, this is kind of strange. Do you find that strange?
It was a bit odd. But it's the Empire. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, you play games and stuff. Like, I was just playing Star Wars Jedi Academy the other day. And when you see stormtroopers, they go, like, halt, freeze, or like, show us your ID, and then they immediately start shooting.
It's so stupid. Oh man, it's like typical.
Great to see some identification.
Yeah. Just like imagine if
let me get it out.
Imagine if that's how the world works. It's like,
shoot first.
Yeah. Although I hear stories, tourists in certain countries. As Morgan sounds different, but it's great to see him again. I love the character, as I mentioned the last time that we saw him.
His voice is different?
It sounded different to me, yeah. I'm not going to bother playing a voice clip, but it just, to me, it sounded like maybe he was like coming off a sore throat or something like that.
could be that simple.
I love how Hondo says, one of my best friends was a Jedi. At least I thought we were friends. That's what he referenced to Obi-Wan Kenobi there.
That's right.
Yeah, that was a good little Easter egg there as well. This episode really deals with Ezra's. This is like kind of the meat of the dish, whatever the expression is. It's Ezra's unsureness about being a Jedi or a soldier, and he considers the offer of being a pirate kind of loosely. You know, he's like kind of dabbling. He's like, oh well, maybe I would make a good pirate.
Well, I mean, that was what he was before he ran into the crew of the Ghosts.
Yeah. And like
small time bandit, right?
Yeah, he was a thief. Yeah, look at that street rat.
That's right. George Lucas is singing you that song from Disney's Aladdin.
Yeah. At the end, when Ezra admits this to Hondo, he laughs and says, "You truly are a Jedi." And I just thought, like, I guess somewhere in Ezra, maybe Hondo sees a bit of Anakin's troublemaker side in there, like. you know, there's some association in the way that Ezra, how he responds to it. You can kind of draw a parallel line between him and Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars, like a little bit. And like, I don't know, maybe Jedi to Hondo, being Hondo, and anytime you've seen a Jedi, they're kind of in Maverick mode. Maybe to him, that's kind of the thing, right? Like being a Jedi, they're people with power always getting into trouble, but doing good things at the end of the day.
Right.
And like that's kind of his perspective, his point of view.
He sees them more as a superhero and less of a monk.
Right. Yeah. The only serious Jedi he's ever met is like Plo Koon when they were trying to track down Boba Fett and, you know, Aurra Singh and all that stuff. But like, you know, we're talking like Obi-Wan and Anakin. We're talking about like, you know, the most maverick Jedi there is. You know, Anakin straight up buying like missile launchers and getting Hondo to like deliver them to, you know, the rebellion on Onderon, right? Like that was something he did. It's like, that's not conventional. But I think like because he's had dealings with these Jedi before, he kind of sees a little bit of that in Ezra. And Ezra's a bit of a maverick. He's a thief. He's a street rat kid, right? Like him and Hondo have a lot to connect over.
No, it makes sense because Ezra's too old. Too old to begin the training.
Too old.
That's right. So now he's got this. Yeah. He's gotten to establish some habits and lifestyle before becoming a Jedi. So it's a really hard transition.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's a really big part of this episode is him accepting who he's becoming, the choices he's made, as opposed to the direction he could have taken.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well said. One Pablo point for me.
I liked this one a lot, mostly because of Hondo. I know this is a little bit fillery as far as, well, hate to say it, but the show is a lot of filler because it's really just the two at the start and the two at the end.
Yeah.
And then some gristle in between.
Right.
But I would say mainly due to Hondo because he's probably my favorite character of the animated series.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 1.8. Points.
Almost two.
There's not enough story for me to push past that.
Yeah.
But I would say at least a solid 1 point of this is just straight up Hondo.
Yeah, Hondo is gold. Hondo's a gold character. That's why he's in Galaxy's Edge, folks. If you want to see Hondo, go to Galaxy's Edge. Season 2, Episode 7, Wings of the Master. Written by Stephen Melching and directed by Dave Filoni and Sergio Paz. Premiered on November 11, 2015, on Disney XD. Guest stars Corey Burton and Keon Young. Phoenix Squadron tries to break an Imperial blockade in order to provide food supplies to those who need it, but their transport is destroyed and the mission fails. Hera is then tasked to go to a planet whose atmosphere is very difficult to fly in, to get a ship being built by a Mon Calamari named Quarry that can break the blockade. After nearly crashing her shuttle, Hera convinces Quarry to let her pilot the ship, called the Blade Wing, or the B-Wing for short. With the Blade Wing's firepower, Hera single-handedly destroys one of the Imperial blockade ships, allowing the Ghost to break the blockade and deliver the needed supplies. What did you think about this one?
We finally know why it's called the B-Wing.
Yeah.
And does the X stand for something? What about the A? Or the E?
The Xiaomi
or
Wing?
Y?
The Xiaomi Wing and the...
Xiaomi is the actress?
I don't know. It's like the only X word that came to mind.
I was thinking X-ray.
The Xavier.
I mean,
the Xavier Wing.
Well, the X is because it splits into an X shape. But it's weird then that the B Wing specifically has a...
B for blade, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that was something Dave thought of. Maybe he was like, why is it called the B Wing, George?
It look like a B.
I don't know. It's just the next letter. I don't know. We had an A Wing. So
they're running out of letters.
Yeah, I was like, screw it. Make a B Wing. Yeah. Blade Wing, everybody. So what's to say about this one other than it's a B-Wing origin story? And this is a prototype. It's a very powerful, got laser weapon, something we've never seen in the movies before.
It's like a Death Star gun.
Yeah, it's like a Death Star gun. It's like kind of weird. I've never seen it in the movie. We've never seen it in the movies. So it's like,
they never used it.
And so to me, I was just like, okay, well, this would have been cool in Return of the Jedi. I'm not like super heartbroken about it, but like at the same time, like I would like to see this again, just for continuity purposes. And we still haven't.
It did make me raise up several questions, though.
Yeah.
in Return of the Jedi, is there only one? Or are they...
No, there's a lot.
There's
a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and none of them use it.
And none of them... So what was it a canon thing that they just never
I think
shot?
so. I think so.
Well, like, did George come up with it, or is this something that they added for this episode?
No, I think this was something that they just wanted to make the B-wing extra cool. Okay. So I was like, yeah, let's just make it extra. Like, let's give this ship a reason for why it exists amongst the rebellion's ranks, right? Because it's like, let's be honest, it's a stupid looking ship. Like, it's kind of a weird design. It's a cool looking ship, but it's also a stupid looking ship because
make up your mind.
I mean, like, why does the cockpit rotate around, or why does the body rotate around the cockpit, right? Like I know the Falcon has a lopsided look to it. That's a lot of Star Wars ships, but like this takes it to a whole new level. Like, why? When you can spin your ship in space, why does it also have to spin on top of the spin? Like, you know what I mean? It's like why? I don't know. To me, I'm just kind of like gobsmacked by like the physics of like, why is this necessary?
Sure.
Right? I don't know. Can you think of any reason why?
It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't make no sense.
It just stays in the same place. I mean, it's probably easier for the pilot.
I've always thought
rotating around. I mean, if you're used to any other ship, you wouldn't be anything.
Yeah, like I've always thought it was a very cool ship. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's a cool ship, right? And it's like it's got a cool design, but like, what purpose does it serve? None. And I think that's my problem with it. Sort of.
Wasn't that like adding any new ships
a lot
in
of
Star Wars?
things in Star Wars, though? You look at it, and it's got a purpose. It's unexplainable. But you look at a lot of the ships in Star Wars, and you're like, I know what that does. And like, you can look at the TIE fighters and go like, those could be solar panel wings, or like.
That was your first guess, was it?
I don't know. I'm just like again. I'm able to pull out like I'm able to pull stuff out of my butt like by like looking at a ship and going like, you know what? It's like, I know it's been jerry rigged by model makers in the basement of ILM in '77, but like it looks like it's got some function to it, and that was the whole purpose. It's like we're ripping apart like models of tanks and stuff like that, trying to reuse pieces that exist on this.
Are you saying the B-wing is made out of parts that were left?
I'm saying the B-wing was made out of like stuff they found in like a kitchen or something like that. Like, I don't know what.
It's
like,
a giant wing. So
it's like, yeah, you know, take that pizza cutter and just stick like a tube on the top. That can be our rotating cockpit, and then we'll just build down from there. I don't know.
Pizza cutter.
I don't know.
This isn't Star Trek.
I may have gone a bit too far in some places. Sorry, George, hurt your feelings. No, it's a cool ship, but like I just don't see the practicality and like why it does what it does. And now we've been added to the ingredients. Now we got this cool weapons array that now we've never seen. And
it's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm wondering, because it's a prototype, maybe they just weren't able to get the parts they needed for mass production.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But Corey was a cool character. Did you like Corey?
Yeah. Wait. His name is Corey?
Quarry, yes.
The Quarren?
Quarry the Mon Calamari.
He's Mon Cal.
No.
Could you imagine if he was a Quarren?
But like a quarry is like an underwater thing, like a quarry, right? Like, you know.
Oh, you mean like a rock quarry?
Yeah, like a rock quarry, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean like.
So he's still named after like.
Hey, my name's Corey.
It's like what's his name? Like Fish Face. No, I'm thinking of Prune Face. No, never mind.
Fish Face.
Fish Face. No, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised though. The galaxy's a big place, folks. But yeah, I don't know. Fish Face.
Next time we play a role-playing game, I'm gonna play a guy named Fish Face.
Oh man, I love that robot chicken. That robot chicken with Palpatine squeezing into the elevator with all those Mon Calamari and Quarren people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like elevator doors open, like, you know, all like 20 like Mon Calamari. He's like, well, come on in, and he's like no, thank you. Like, squeeze on in. He's like, no, thank you. And he's like, well, please, there's plenty of room. He's like, I'd rather have my robe not smell like a fillet of fish all day. Thank you very much. And he's like, it's hurtful, man.
Yeah.
Well, just next time, let it go. Let it go. That door's closed and then it just keeps going.
Oh my gosh. You just memorized the entire thing.
I've seen it a lot.
But hold on. I haven't moved on to this Corey thing. Because, he's a Mon Calamari named... Because Quarren from the same planet. That's got to be very confusing for a lot of Quarren.
Yeah, probably. They've got many cousins that are named Corey. or Corey.
I was gonna say or Corey.
Named after the voice actor who voices Corey.
There we go. Oh man, this is like Inception.
Fun fact: Corey Burton also voices the voice of Cad Bane.
Oh, it's the same guy.
Same guy.
That's cool.
Yeah. The Phantom is upgraded with a hyperdrive, so that opens up a lot of story possibilities now. A lot of story potential. Now they can be in 2 separate places across the galaxy, which we will see them utilize. Hera's at the end of the episode, she gets leader of Phoenix Squadron title, Captain Hera Syndulla. This episode was really the focus on her character. It was like her story, her love of flying, her backstory as to why she became a pilot, and her love of like kind of what she does, like why she does what she does. Like, she loves flying. She loves like doing that for the ability to help others in need. And, it's like, it's enough, right? Like it's enough to kind of describe, like just kind of tell us as viewers why she's a part of this rebellion, like why she loves flying her ship.
And it's something that she mentions in the episode she's very passionate about. And when she's even in the hottest part of the battle, she feels like she's at her best. Yeah, exactly. And I do think an episode like this kind of is needed, just with, as we were mentioning last episode, she grew up with her father as like a ground troop. Yeah. So it's like, why would she all of a sudden be a pilot? Right.
And we see more of that in The Bad Batch. If you watch The Bad Batch, you see a young Hera Syndulla with Cham, back on Raw. You remember that, right?
It's been a lot of Star Wars.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm trying to remember specifics.
All good. Pablo points her Poodoos. I give it a Bendu.
It does feel about right.
50%, right in the middle.
I'll be gracious. I'll give it 0.75.
Season 2, Episode 8, final one for today, Blood Sisters. Written by Kevin Hobbs, directed by Bosco. Premiered November 18th, 2015 on Disney XD. Guest stars Steven Stanton and Gina Torres. Sabine is sent by Hera to acquire an unknown information courier. She goes with Ezra and Chopper, and they find that the courier is a clunky droid, a gonk to be exact. And then they encounter Ketsu Anyo, an old friend of Sabine's who works as a bounty hunter and is now after the droid. When some stormtroopers begin to fire at them, Sabine and Chopper steal a ship, Star Tours shuttle, and go off planet with the droid. Unfortunately, with Ezra left behind, Ketsu also escapes after a confrontation with Sabine, and her personal ship captures Chopper, and the two meet up and trade droids. Their activity, well, not really, but their activity draws the attention of the Empire, and the two team up to escape by setting charges on the stolen ship. Sabine is knocked out and almost left to go with the ship, but Ketsu saves her, and the explosion allows them to fly the droid to a rebel location and then meet back up with Ezra and Hera before Ketsu leaves on better terms with Sabine. This was kind of like one of those kind of fluff episodes, but really just kind of there to introduce a character that we might see later. Mm-hmm. It was also backstory for Sabine.
I'm pretty sure the episode was mainly about giving a pilot to the Starcaster ship.
The what?
Remember the ship she drives is like the
Ketsu Anyo?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Shadowcaster.
Shadowcaster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because that ship's been around for a while, and then they brought it into canon here.
Right, that's fair. Yeah. Sabine in the Academy is not something that we hear much of, and yet in this episode it kind of talked about that. It talked about her friendship with Ketsu. And
hold on, I need to talk about this for a minute.
Yeah.
How old is Sabine?
Okay, so I think personally, she's like 18 or 19.
Okay, so she's actually like young adult.
I think she's a young adult.
Just because of the cast of the show, it seems like she's close in age to Ezra, just a bit older.
Yeah, no, I think because Ezra's like 14, right? So I think she's like the cool, like, 18, 19, or like not so far off that like he can't, like, because he's got a huge crush on her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I thought they were all so close. But I thought he was like 12. So
no,
it's hard to tell animation.
He behaves like he's 12, but he's 14. Actually, in this season he's more like 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked, though, is because she went to the Imperial Academy. She created, like, engineered a weapon.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yep.
That could be used against Mandalorians. And she was a bounty hunter.
Yeah. She was a lot of things.
How old is she again?
She's accomplished a lot.
Oh my gosh.
We see the return of Star Tours again in this episode, and I can't believe they blew up the shuttle with that droid still on board. That poor pilot droid.
Oh,
Like,
Rex?
wait, are those charges? Boom. Just gone.
Yeah, I love how they power him down and they power him up as they're attacking. Like, they're attacking your vessel.
Wait, what's happening? Oh no. Yeah, it was kind of like, I was like, oh, that's a little dark for Rebels. Like, you don't see that much.
True, they made him live through it.
Yeah, it's just an innocent droid. They freaking let that one live. That chopper shoves out of their ship and like falls like 1,000,000 miles to the surface of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Gets up and he's like got not a scratch on him. But this time there's just like, nope, he's gone. Like I don't know.
What if it's because Disney and George had a bad rap with the original Star Tours, and George was pissed off. So this is Dave Filoni's revenge.
Maybe it's like the Jackson skeleton we saw in Clone Wars.
Oh my gosh, exactly.
Yeah, you know what? I hated Star Tours guys. I'm just kill them. Kill them all.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, kill them all. Of them. Wipe them out.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Can you say that, Ian? Can you say it? Like, wipe them out, all of them? Wipe them out. All of it. No, just faster, more intense. Chopper ripping apart the ship is hilarious. I loved seeing him through the windshield as like
just throwing stuff.
Just his little arm just like just like flinging stuff, and he's like looking at Sabine and like picking it up and like it's so good. It was quite comical. I liked it a lot.
It was very cartoony. I liked that quite a bit too.
Yeah.
It was very well done.
Yep. This is the kind of thing that makes Rebels kind of different than Clone Wars. Like that kind of quirky little humor would not necessarily have been in that show. I don't think.
No, Rebels definitely is more cartoonish.
More quirky, yeah.
In like a Warner Brothers kind of style, right?
Totally.
Like a Bugs Bunny or something.
Yeah. Looney Tunes. Yeah, the explosive charges that they used to blow up the shuttle are in fact the same model that they used in Return of the Jedi when Han helps blow up the Death Star 2's shield generator on the planet. That was an interesting little cameo of that charge specifically.
Oh, neat.
Only because I mention it only because we've never seen them anywhere else. Mm-hmm. So as to my recollection, so this was kind of a nice little nod of the head to those charges.
It's cool. I did not know that.
Yep. And R2 makes a small cameo here when they drop the Gonk droid off at Bail Organa's residence, or wherever they dropped him off. And Ketsu's relationship with the rebellion is spawning. So, like they made an effort to, Sabine kind of clearly thought like, well, maybe she'll join the rebellion one day.
That's true. Because at one point they both wanted to join the Pike Syndicate. Right?
That's right.
Was there Black Sun?
Black Sun. It was Black Sun, yeah. So what do you think of this episode? Pablo points or poodoos, and then we'll sign off for the day.
We've kind of given the same rating to everything.
Yeah. A lot of fluff, eh?
There's been a lot, yeah.
This one, though, I feel like this one was just kind of bad.
Okay.
Just like, I don't know, I was just not interested in it.
That's fair. I mean, we just came off an episode of Hondo, so
yeah,
that's a high.
Yeah, it was.
That's a high bar, right?
It was.
So.
I gave that a Pablo point too. So like, I don't know. This one I gotta give like, okay, I didn't hate it, but so I can't. I feel bad giving it like 2 Pablo poodoos.
That's a lot.
But like, I think. Well, yeah, I mean, like 3's rock bottom. So like, there's still some leverage there. But I don't know. There was not a whole lot I liked about it.
Okay.
And including Ezra, it's like, how the heck did he get back up onto the ship again? Like, I don't know. There was just all these things, all these questions.
No, because he fell off. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. 2 Pablo poodoos. What the heck?
Oof. I'll just do 1.
I'm gonna poodoo all over it.
Dropping poodoos all over this.
Dropping poodoo all over. Yeah. Yeah.
Yusa.
All right. That's all we got for today. Thanks again for hopping back on and doing this with me, sir. Always a pleasure.
It's a long way to Alderaan.
All right, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you drop those 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcast, whatever you use to tune in to the podcast. That would be great. We love seeing those 5 stars. Also, look us up on Podchaser as well. We're on every platform in the galaxy, including YouTube. You can find us with the handle at SW Escape Podcast, and that goes for our socials as well. Check the description below. Send the show to a friend. And, follow along with us at home. A lot of our focus over the next couple weeks is going to be on Rebels Talk. But if you're not interested in Rebels, that's fine. Just keep us in your back pocket. Check in a few weeks when Ahsoka comes out. We're going to have after shows for that. We're going to be talking all about Ahsoka and getting into a lot of the maybe some what happened episodes after that show is done to kind of backfill people on some story. And that should be fun as well. So... thank you again for tuning into the podcast. And again, join the Discord, send us a tweet, send us an email, put your name in the giveaway. See you in the next episode of Star Wars Escape Pod. And may the Force be with you.